Phones and phonetics. The two basic tasks of phonetics are the transcription and the classification of sounds, also called phones in this context. The phones is therefore the basic unit of phonetics and it refers to the concrete sound substance as such. Phonetics is how to pronounce or speak sounds by humans without prior knowledge of the language being spoken. Phonology is talking about sounds and patterns. The system of contractive relationship among the speech sound that constitute the fundamental components of a language. The branch of linguistics that deals with system of sounds within a language or between different languages. Classification of sounds. Sounds are classified into consonant and vowels. Consonants is how sounds are produced, and vowels are sounds that are produced without such abstraction. And another difference between consonant and vowels is that vowels are generally voiced, and consonant, by contrast, can be voiced or voiceless. Voiceless and voiced sounds. A voiced sound is one in which the vocal cords vibrate, and a voiceless sound is one in which they do not. Voicing is the difference between pairs of sounds such as S and Z in English. And the example of voiceless is bang, and for the voice is crash. English consonants can be classified into plosives, fricative, affricates, nasals, liquids, and semivowels. The first one is plosives. Plosive is consonant made up by blocking the airflow, and the next one is fricative. A consonant sound such English for F or V, produced by bringing the mouth into position to block the passage of the airstream. And the next one is affricates, are complex consonants that begin with an occlusive phase before moving on to a fricative phase. And the next one is nasals, speech sound in which the airstream passes through the nose as a result of the lowering of the soft palate or velu at the back of the mouth. And the next one is liquid, a consonant sound in which the tongue produces a particle closer in the mouth, resulting in a resonant, vowel-like consonant, such as English L and R. And the last one is semivowels. A semivowels or glide is a sound that is phonetically similar to a vowel sound but function as the syllable boundary, rather than as the nucleus of a syllable. Bilabial plosives, and the consonant is P and B, are produced with both lips pressed together, and the active articulator is the lower lip, and the passive articulator is the upper lip. And for the example of consonant P is part, and the example of consonant B is bar. And the second one is alveolar plosives, and the consonant is T and D, are articulate with the back of the tongue against the soft palate. The active articulator is the back of the tongue, and the passive articulator is the soft palate. And the example of consonant T is tree, and the consonant D is door. Velar plosives, and the consonant is K and G, are consonants that are produced by impinging, but not completely blocking the airflow. And the example of consonant K is ko, and the example of consonant G is gur. And the next one is labiodental fricative. The consonant is F and V. The lower lip is very close to the edge of the upper front teeth, thus forming an incomplete abstraction. And the example of consonant F is favorite. And the example of consonant V is fight. Interdental fricatives. The consonant is TH. Pronounced with the tip of the tongue against the teeth. And the example of TH is, the first one is true. This is unvoiced. And the second one for TH is brother. This is for the example of TH are voiced. Alveolar and alveolar fricative. The consonant is S, Z, Sh, and Z. The tip of the tongue is close to the back part of the alveolar ridge, forming a flat narrowing. And the example of Z sound is decision, and for S is shoes, and for Z is zoo.
As you can see in the picture number 1 is glottal fricative with the consonant H. It is produced with the voiceless expulsion of air from the lungs with the mouth and tongues already in position for the following forward. And the second picture is bilabial nasal with the consonant and the lips are firmly kept together forming the complex obstruction. The active articulator is the lower lip, the passive articulator is the upper lip. Okay, the first picture is alveolar nasal with the consonant and the tip of the tongue is pressed against the alveolar ridge, forming the complex obstruction. The active articulator is the tip of the tongue, and the passive articulator is the alveolar ridge. And the second picture is velar nasal with a consonant. The back of the tongue is pressed to the soft palate, forming the complex obstruction. The active articulator is the back of the tongue, and the passive articulator is the soft palate. Okay, in this class we still talk about classification of consonants. As you can see in the picture 1, it is alveolar with the consonant L. The tip of the tongue is in firm contact with the alveolar ridge, forming the complex obstruction. The active articulator is the tip of the tongue, and the passive articulator is the alveolar ridge. And the second picture is polyalveolar with the consonant S. The tip of the tongue is held in a position near the root, not touching the back part of the alveolar ridge. The top palate is raised and the gap flows flatly between the tip of the tongue and the hard palate. This is classification of vowels. Depending on the height of the tongue, vowels can be classified into high, low, and mid vowels. First is when the front of the back of the tongue is raised towards the roof of the mouth, the vowel is called high. For the example is pill, mid, look, or soon. Second is when the front or the back of the tongue is as low as possible, the vowel is depending on the part of the tongue that is raised. Most vowels are classified into front, back, and central vowels. Okay, first, when the front part of the tongue is raised towards the hard palate, the vowel is called front. For the example, mid, get, or land. Second is when the back part of the tongue is raised toward the soft plate. The vowel is called big. Star, dog, long, or soon. And the last is when the front part of the tongue is raised toward the back part of the hard plate. The vowel is called central. For the example is about, much, or nurse. Called low. Land, tall, or dog. And the last is when the tongue occupies the position intermediate between the high and the low one. The vowel is called mid.
Diphthongs is the vowels described so far have all been monophthongs, in contrast to the diphthongs or gliding vowels, where the tongue moves from one position to another. And we can choose the example. The example form diphthong can be found in Dhea, fight, and oil. The tongue moves from one position to another. And the second, I have a phonemes. Phonemes is, in contrast to phones, are defined by their function within the language system. Is it the language system? And for the third is, I have a complementary distribution. Is it allophones do not occur in minimal pairs, which means they either never occur in the same environment. And I have heard, and for its free variation, is as in the case of clear and dark, and the sounds is E, or they occur. And I have for example, and the example is voiceless plosives at the end of a syllable or word are sometimes aspirate, or if deep is pronounced like deep, but they must just as well not be if deep is pronounced is deep without h. The testifies difference between phonemes and their allophones is that the variants of a phoneme do not different meaning, and therefore the sound difference does not constitute a relevant phonetic in the future. Okay, next in the slide 2. English sound system has standard RP as the standard British, and for example, the English sound system of the British have a 24 consonant, 12 vowels, and 8 of diphthongs. And next, we have a redundant. Redundant is a difference or expression that does not distinguish meaning in English and it does. And third, we have a phonetics. It's about phonology that not only describes a system of sound is in isolation, but it also deals with the rules and instructions that help for their combination. This branch of phonology is called phonetics. It's about a combination of the branch of phonology that the branch of phonology is called phonetics like that. And next we have a prosody. Prosody belongs to the domain of the suprasegmental phonology in that it describes phenomena extending over more than one phoneme. The prosody is about the extending over more than one phoneme. It relates and domain to suprasegmental of the phonology. And next to the next slide. And next we have a connected speech. Is it the phonological change that occur when language is used in natural utterance are described as feature of connected speech. The most important ones of connected speech is 1. Assimilation. Point A. When neighboring sounds become more alike as in impossible in contrast to indecent. And second, elision, EE. The loss of sound, as in Christmas or sandwich, is it the T of the Christmas and D for sandwich. The Christmas, the T and the D is lost. When we say Christmas, the T is lost, and the sandwich, the D is lost. But the meaning is same, but the alphabet T and D is lost. And third, intrusion and linking are as in law and order. And next, we have big forms. It's the most important feature of connected speech, however. And the last, we have English has the property of being a structured language, which means there is a tendency for stressed syllables to occur at fairly equal intervals. As a result, in unstressed syllables, vowel quality tends to be weakened, mostly to the schwa yi. But the total omission of vowels, as it frequently happens in contraction, such as in cis, is also possible, particularly in the case of function words. And for example, is auxiliaries, pronouns, preposition, and a conjunction. And thank you for your attention and see you. Thank you very much.